Did you know that if you want results in your life, especially when it comes to goals, you need to act and move? And did you know that 99% of people actually stay stuck, even with their best intentions, because they don't know how to act, or they're not doing the right actions? So this is really important one to remember. Because I remember when I was actually in my journey over the last 6 years, I had a lot of goals. I have a lot of good intentions for myself and for the world. And I was like, why are they not coming into fruition? Why are they not coming true? What's going on? What is that I'm missing? And I didn't know it's because I didn't take actions on them. I will talk about, you don't need to take a lot of action either. You have to take action that is joyful to you, that is aligned with what you love to do, even a little bit, that will help you get the results you want. So when it comes to specifically law of action, it states that in order to bring anything into form or physical reality, whether it's a goal, whether it's a dream, whether it's a desire, you have to take consistent, inspired action, right? So what I mean by inspired is, like we talk about law of joy, joyful action. That's the key, right? Because when you act out of joy, you're more likely to attract that are in physical reality, more joyful state. So remember, we talk about in our session is that this formula called the T-bear, which is your thoughts leads to your beliefs, beliefs leads to emotion, emotion leads to action, and action lead to results. So it's important to understand that the actions does lead to results, right? And we talked about before, how thoughts leads to your beliefs and beliefs goes to emotions. We talked about that before. But this aspect of how do we make things happen in physical reality? Action is clear, especially action that is joyful, that is towards for your goal, right? That's very important aspect to understand. And I see that many people come to me, I have this goal, I have that, but I don't know how to make it happen. Then I ask them, how much action have you taken towards it? They haven't. They say, like, I don't know, I needed to take action. I thought, setting goals would be enough. And then they're like, oh, I still go to work and do this. Well, you're still not taking action towards that goal. So key thing is that when you're setting goals, when you're setting intentions, it is critically important to take action towards them. And you will see that without, especially our physical reality or the physical universe, without taking action or without taking some sort of movement, the energy remains potential, not kinetic. So what that means is that sometimes it might just shows up as anxiety. Sometimes it might show us up as stress. So that's what I noticed is that I had these great ideas, what I want to do, but I had a lot of anxiety, a lot of anxiousness. I was like, where is this coming from? What am I doing wrong? And I realized what I'm doing wrong is that I'm not taking action. There's the electrical energy, which is anxiety, it's not being dissipated into some sort of an action. So when I started to take action, I started to reduce this anxiety. So that's very important to understand that many people, especially I see that anxiety is a pandemic, right? Many people are going through anxiety issues. And why is that? Well, guess what? They're not taking actions towards their goal, their highest purpose in life, right? So that's very important to understand. And thoughts generate feelings, and which fuels the actions that create the result. So understand, what are you exposing yourself to? Whether you might say, I don't know how to take action because I don't know how to take action from. So if you want to update your thoughts, start reading books. That could be your beginning. Start taking a course or start working or getting coaching from somebody. Whatever may be, first you might have to update your thoughts, your beliefs. So sometimes reading a book might be the best thing. So for me, I realized that in order for me to take action towards creating YouTube videos and things like that, I need to read a book. I need to understand. I need to upgrade my thoughts. So when I started to upgrade my thoughts, right, I started to work a lot better. Same with I was reading this book called Think and Grow Rich, right, by Napoleon Hill. I realized when I'm reading it that I'm developing certain beliefs, and it's causing me to take action more. So that was my beginning. So sometimes you might actually have to start at the thoughts level in order for your actions to come through. And as long as you're taking action towards reading and learning, you're doing a great job. Okay? So that's very important to understand.
I want to check the is this.
Yeah.
I know many people are struggling with taking action. which you rightly mentioned, right? So what inhibits anyone's progress is not taking action. And some of the hindrances or the barriers for people to take action is that they don't get into the mood,
Right.
right? So it is, although they want to take action, but they could be due to various reasons. Could be due to that they are not in the mood, that maybe they're depressed or they have anxiety, like you explained. What could be some tips or hints that you could give for those people who are procrastinating or
That's
who are not jumping in to take action?
I can relate to that question really well because I was there. I was like that for a long time as well. So what I did, how I took action is I created a list of actions that I find joyful. So in the beginning, I didn't have these goals and these big ideas that I'm talking about. So what I did was I literally created a list. What do I like to do? What gives me joy when I do them? And it was simple things like playing basketball and taking a swim, going to the gym, right? So if you're in a place of procrastination, if you're in a place of depression, right? Even if you're in anxiety, you're scared to take action, then don't focus on those things. Don't do the things that gives you more of procrastination, more of depression, more of anxiety. Focus on the thing that actually gives you a little bit of joy, right? It could be getting out of the house and going for a walk. For me, it was getting out of the house and playing basketball in one of the parks before. And then for me, I also wanted to go to the gym, but I wasn't in the mood. So what did I like to do in the gym mostly? I like to go to the sauna. So I went to the sauna. I didn't even work out. So I literally created a list of whole bunch of items that, what do I actually like doing? Acts that I like doing. And that was my beginning. And I say, okay, let's do that. Let's do that. At least it's better than staying home and doing nothing and watching TV. Playing a little bit of basketball, even by myself, is more fun than watching TV today. Right. So that's what I did. So in terms of acting, like I try to physically move, whether it could be dancing, whether it's cooking, whether it's playing basketball, like I said. My start was instead of avoiding action, because what happens is that when you avoid action, when you procrastinate, that becomes a habit on its own. So the best way to get out of it is to do the thing that actually bring you joy. Set of actions that bring you joy. So even if you don't want to take action on it, start writing a list. I would like to do this. I would like to talk to my friend. I would like to take this trip. I would like to take a walk every day. I like to play basketball. I like to cook, right? Literally write 5 to 10 items that actually gives you joy. Then see which are the ones that you can do that brings you joy and start working on that. Start with that as the first place. And that's exactly what I did. And then that got me out of being in the procrastination state. Right. And then what happened when I started to go to the gym, I started to do a little bit of weights. Right. And then when I also, started writing about, I enjoy writing. Right. So instead of trying to write like all these books and chapters, I started, what are some advice that I can give myself? Right. What are the things that I should remember from the past that can help me? Right. Or even things like, let me read a book and see what is actually, if there's anything that I love to read. Right. And then I would take notes on that. So it came from a place of joy in the beginning. I didn't plan all these goals and all these things. I started literally what gives me happiness and joy, at least a little bit, than just procrastinating, being in depressed or anxious, right? Or avoiding and just watching movies and TV shows. That's what I did. When you're anxious, that's what you participate in. So instead of doing that, okay, let me do something that moves my body. What is that I can do? So that's where I kind of got started from. I started from, and then what I actually did after that, I started to say, I'm taking a little bit of action. What can I do next? I started to find goals and set goals. So what are some goals that excite me? Right? I thought, it's pretty exciting for me to start a business that is doing what I love. It's pretty exciting for me to go play basketball every week. So I started to set certain goals that I can do. It's not saying, I need to make $1 million. It wasn't like that. It was like, okay, let me create, 3 videos per week. Let me see if I can create in this month, maybe 12 videos if I can. I'll try. right? So I started to focus on the actions and set them as my goals, right? So I let my action become the goals themselves. And then I broke down those goals into manageable steps. So each day, what can I do towards my goal, right? So if I'm going to create 12 videos, maybe I can do a little bit of writing for the videos. And if it's, if you have something like you need to get a job that you love to do, would you be able to apply for a couple of jobs every day, right? So if you apply 2, 3 jobs every day, by 30 days, you close to apply, if you apply for 3 jobs, you apply for over 90 jobs, right? So I started to break down each of these goals into small, small steps. And I started to take action on them, right? So I start with a goal, big goal, a clear one, specific actions I can take, and not the specific outcome. Outcome is important, but what I started with for me was focusing on as a goal, I would like to go to the gym 36 times this quarter, next 90 days, 36 times, because that's 3 times a week, right? So I broke it down based on activity. My goals are a lot of the time, you will see, is that activity based, or what is known as it's input based. Yes, I do think about, okay, what are the outcomes? If I want to go to the gym, why am I doing it? It may be to lose 20 pounds in the first quarter, or maybe to lose 10 pounds, whatever it may be. So I do set that, but my focus really in the activities I can take. So that's really important when you're setting goals, when you're using the law of action for your advantage. Okay. And then take daily action. I think in order to get into this practice of taking activity and using this law to make sure that you achieve your goals, is taking even a little bit of 3 minutes action. 5 minutes, 15 minutes is really important because it ensures that you continue to work on your goals, and it brings you the practice. And it does have an effect on your physical reality, metaphysically speaking. And I focus on not to too much expect a specific outcome when I'm working, even though I'm setting them, right? Even if I'm going to say, I want to lose about 20 pounds, right? But even though I said it, I'm not overly worrying about whether it will happen or not. Again, sometimes I cannot avoid it. I cannot forget about it because it's something that is valuable to me. But my focus, I continue to bring my focus towards the law of action or the action itself, right? And not expecting a specific outcome right away, and focus on the work that is needed to get done. And in terms of taking what actions to take, listen to your inner guidance. Either through write down what you want to do, use a journal, or use, like we talk about, joy as your navigation system or the GPS that you use. Okay? That's very important to understand. Using joy has been one of the key differences even for me to take action. So without joy, I was so inconsistent with my actions. It's unbelievable. I was so frustrated with my own inconsistency, own lack of action. I just hated it. I didn't want to do anything. And I was like, man, how do I stop this? It was a huge issue for me that I struggled with, the fact that I was so inconsistent with my projects and things like that. So I didn't want to be there anymore. But I didn't know the answer. And then joy became my clear guidance for taking consistent action, right? Even like the laws we talk about, right? These laws came out of topics that I enjoy talking about. And then I realized, man, it's so easy for me to take action on these and creating these slides and giving these presentations if I'm doing it out of place of joy. Okay? That's a very important one to understand. And another big one I struggle for me personally was perfectionism. I used to be a huge perfectionist. And I remember how much I used to beat myself over not having things properly done, even especially when I was posting things online, on LinkedIn, and writing my articles and books. I was trying to perfect it. I was like, nah, it doesn't look good. What if other people judge me? What if other people say this and that? I realized when you're practicing law of action, you don't need to worry about it, because what happens is that if you continue to do a specific actions, you will automatically get better. But if you stop your actions, how can you get better? Right? So even my videos, I say, I work with my sister to create videos. 80% better is good. So let's get it shipped. But if I try to make it 100% good, none of the videos will come out. So that's a huge problem, right? A lot of the things that I value, people would value, it's not even getting out into the public, right? To either be the judge or scrutinized or people to enjoy, it's not getting out there. What's the point? So it was something I literally intensely struggle with, both in consistency and perfectionism. So I realized, 80% good is good, right? Like in university, if you get 80%, right, that's pretty good, right? Even in UFT, they don't even give you it. I'm trying so hard to get more than 85. They say if you're getting 85, you should be published ready. And then so they don't give you much. I actually got on one of the courses, one of the assignments, I did get 100%. I was really happy about that, but I had to keep working on it, right? But I'm not concerned about getting 100% anymore. I'm not even concerned about getting 85. Just make it good enough and ship it out. And if you want to make better, create another one and another one and another one. Make it at least 80% better, right? Do your best to continually work on these things. And you will see, you will create a lot more work, a lot more things that you find enjoyable later on. And then a lot more things that other people find useful as well. Okay?